Hi everybody, my name is Larsen. We talk a lot about the different scales that we can use when we're improvising over chords, and that discussion can quickly become a little bit too theoretical and a little bit vague. In this video I'm going to take 5 different scales with a very distinct sound, and then I'm going to apply those to a 12-bar blues. I'm going to focus on demonstrating to you how they sound and talk a little bit about what I'm using to get that sound across. It's really important that you check out and have a clear idea about what a scale sounds like if you want to use it to play any kind of real music. So this video is kind of inspired by another video that I saw with Herbie Hancock solo on a blues in F that's transcribed, and then there's an analysis of what he's playing and the transcription going along with the solo. I find that really interesting. I don't agree with the analysis all the time, but it's still really worthwhile checking out. I'll link to that video in the description of this video. If you want to learn more about jazz guitar and play better lines and develop your comping, then subscribe to my channel. If you want to make sure not to miss anything, then click the little bell notification icon next to the subscribe button. Dominant scale is not that different from what we would normally play if we were to play over the C7. So in fact there's only one note that's changing, and that is that now we have an F sharp in the scale, so we have this sharp 11. And that's also what you want to use. I think the combination of getting just that single note across on the chord, and also that it actually adds this augmented triad sound to the scale under it, is really what you want to emphasize. And that's also what I'm doing in the solo. I'm using the F sharp 7, F sharp 7 sharp 5 arpeggio, and I'm also using the D major triad, and very often I'll also make use of a B major 7 sharp 5 arpeggio. Phrygian sound is mostly a dominant sound, and the sound that you would associate it with in the case of this blues in C, there would be a C7 with a sus4 and a flat 9. So this type of sound. Or another way to voice that would be to play a D flat major triad over a C bass note. Those are kind of the basic Phrygian sounds. That's also what you would call Phrygian chords in this case. So when I'm improvising here, I'm trying to get that sound across. I'm trying to hit the flat 9, the D flat, and the sus, which is the F. And one way that I do that quite often is to use a D flat major 7 flat 5 arpeggio. So, which is really just playing this chord as an arpeggio. Tritone scales are great symmetrical scales that kind of double as being also a triad pair. So in this case I'm using the A or the E flat tritone scale, which is really just an A major triad and an E flat major triad on top of my C7 chord here. And that's of course a subset of the diminished scale, but the fact that you can just play it as a symmetrical scale like this and just really focus on those notes is a really nice way to really pull out certain sounds, which is what I like about this scale in this context. So if you want to play the scale, you can play it across the neck like this. And of course you can also make another way of distributing the note over the fretboard, and these sort of patterns are really good to get almost like an Alan Holdsworth-ish sound out of it. So I'm using that quite a bit. I'm also using just the fact that it's a triad pair. And in this case, it's an A major triad and an E flat major triad. So if you combine those two, you can get certain melodies as well, which is sort of the other way that I approach making melodies with this scale. The last two examples that I'm going to go over in this video are both using the augmented scale. And that may sound a little bit strange that you can use different augmented scales on the same chord progression. But the first one is really sort of emphasizing the augmented part of the C. So really sort of the C augmented sound. And the other one sounds like a strange variation of an altered sound. So here the first one, the way I think about augmented scales is really just as a collection of major triads. And that's also how I improvise with them. So the one that I'm using here, so it's focusing on the augmented part of it. So it's a C augmented triad and then combined with a B augmented triad. And this gives us 3 major triads in major thirds distance. So I have an E major, a C major, and an A flat major triad. And that's mostly what I'm improvising with. I might sometimes turn them into major 7 sharp 5 arpeggios as well. So you have sort of a C major 7 sharp 5, E major 7 sharp 5, and the A flat major 7 sharp 5. As you can tell, this scale doesn't actually fit with the chords because we don't have a 7 in there, we don't have a B flat. But because the function is just becoming to create some different sounds and create some tension that we then resolve, then I can still manage to play this scale sound and then resolve that to the F7 in bar 5, and in that way make it work. This other augmented scale sound that sounds a little bit like an altered dominant is coming out of the F sharp. So I'm really just using the augmented scale that you will find with an F sharp major triad in it. That will be the one that's constructed out of D, B flat, and F sharp major triads. And that's really what I'm working with here. And I think because we have sort of the F sharp, and here we do have the B flat, so we have that one. We don't have a third anymore because that went out the window. And you could actually also combine the two augmented scale choices that I went over, and then you would have like a Messiaen mode number 3 or 4, I forget which one it is, but it's like a 9-note scale that you can use as well, and then you would kind of have both of these options available. But here again, I'm just using the major triad, so it's really just focusing on especially the F sharp and the B flat major triad, and then trying to make melodies with that. And just because you have sort of these different islands of major triad sound in the melodies, you get these nice shifting colors on top of the chords, and that's something that I find really useful and that I really like to use when I'm trying to get other sounds across than just playing the changes. If you are looking for more ideas in terms of scale sounds that you can use on a blues, then check out the comments in this video. And of course, if you have a suggestion that's different from what I went over here, then leave a comment and share it, because I think we're all curious and we want to try out the different things that you can sort of put on top of the blues and see what works for us. I have another video here talking about 9 different pentatonic scale ideas that you can use to create different sounds on a blues. And you can also check that out if you want to have some more inspiration. Of course, if you want to learn more about jazz guitar and it's the first time you see one of my videos, then please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to help me keep making videos, then check out my Patreon page. That's about it for this time. Thank you for watching, and until next week.